everybody, good evening. So this is my review of Sidman Chapter 4 by Brittany Fan. Okay. Does punishment work? We use punishment to control behaviors of others. If the behavior continues, then others could retaliate for trying to change one's behavior. Some people thrive on doing dangerous things. Examples of dangerous things are running into oncoming traffic and playing with fire. To try to get someone to stop using reinforcers and use punishment to influence that, we could spank or scold the children for their misbehavior. All of these are different ways to punish people and to keep them in line. What is in it for us? People believe that we can get others to act differently. We remove positive reinforcers. We remove positive reinforcers because we're trying to get others to behave instead of misbehave. We try to isolate them from things that they want, such as friends, family, activities, and things that can cause them to have the negative behavior. An example of a way to show punishment is to take away the toys. We could spank a child, and in the book it also discussed bombing another country in retaliation for different attacks. We administer all different types of punishment, like I said, to get the thing that we want the other person to do to stop. And nobody likes to be punished. What is in it for us? This section also discussed justice. So, justice is what a person is given for misbehaving. A person gets the punishment for what they have done. People need to receive punishment, and it helps them, some of them, to behave. But is there a simple answer? No. Why does a person commit a crime? People commit crimes for different reasons. But some people believe that if there's punishment, that people's behavior will continue to turn from negative to positive. How does one study punishment? You analyze the effects of punishment. What do we do as behavior analysts? We take baseline. So in this chapter, specifically in this section, it studied a mouse. The mouse would push the lever for food. So the experiment was the food pellet switch would trigger a lever which has a food tray, which gives the mouse food. The rat would continue to push the lever. What would happen if we introduced electric shock? The mouse would then slip into depression. If baseline continued and the electric shock continued, then would the mouse continue to push the lever? If the electric shock then intensified, then it could cause the rat to lose consciousness. As behavior analysts, would we continue to do the experiment if the control experiment was not clear? What do you think? Sidman also discussed different types of punishment. What are certain types of punishers, and do people influence from them? If we change the lights, the environment, multiple different variables, then does that have an effect on the person? It could have an effect on the person, but it just depends on the type of experiment and the environment. So automatic reinforcers can deliver shocks if that was the punishment that we determined. But do people really benefit from punishment? Experiments with pain always have scrutiny, according to this section. People need to have ethical standards, and they need to make sure that they meet scientific standards. I don't know about you, but I agree with that statement. All right. So this next section is labeled "What Really Happened?" If we had the mouse scenario and we turned the lever into something positive, then would the mouse continue to push the lever? Would punishment matter if it brings a way to empathize with others? Does coercion get rid of unwanted outcome if we continue to do things that can shock you? How does your decision help determine punishments? Think about that. What really happens continued. The rat would continue to push the lever despite the shocks. We take positive punishment and we shape it into something positive. Painful events can lose their effects and turn into positive reinforcers. If we change the shock to a mild shock, then how would that change the subject? It would actually change how strong the rat would like to eat. The animal would want more food despite a lower shock. Shock can turn into a positive by adding a different variable, such as what the animal pulls. If the animal pulls a chain without food, it gets the shock each time. The shock then becomes so positive that it turns into a positive reinforcer. And then we could teach something new to the animal, such as pulling the chain instead of a consequence. Sidman likes to talk about what kind of shocks are in the workplace. Authorities. By using punishment, we try to resort to punishment in the workplace. Children do self-injurious behavior, which could be different things such as scratching, picking, clawing, drawing blood. I've had cutting before, and that's a way to get attention. It's called self-injury behavior. But if it gets the attention we want, does that turn something negative into something positive? Sidman also talks about sex. He discusses that if the rat was to receive the shock and it would turn into a sexual shock, you could say, then would the rat continue to receive the shock if instead of receiving food, it received a sexual encounter. It all depends on how you look at it. The references are from Bing, which are listed in each slide. The book that we're reading is Coercion and Its Fallout by Murray Sidman. So the next slide is actually my question that I have for you guys. Hi everybody, so this is my question. Is punishment the correct way to get the outcome you desire? Would you use it in everyday life? Describe why or why not. I look forward to your responses and comments. Thank you guys. Have a great day.